Good evening, guys. I would say good morning, but that'd be a straight up lie because it is 5 o'clock and it was a great day because I went over to my sister's house and I finally got to meet my nephew and I held him, and I was terrified to hold him because he's only 6 days old, so it was pretty crazy, but I didn't drop him. I was really scared I was gonna break the baby, and I did not. So so as I said, today's video is going to be a little bit different because today is a different kind of day for me, and I'm sorry about the lighting. I was trying to have the light on and then it was like glaring, and if I have it off it's too dark, so I can't. Hopefully this is okay. But as I said, today is just a little bit of different video for me because today is a different day for me. So I'm gonna go ahead here and insert a little clip of 3 years ago today, and then I'll talk about it a little bit because I woke up this morning and it was the very first thing on my mind. So here's that. Back in the pre-op area now. I had to change into this fashionable gown. I love these things, you know, when you get to have a breeze, to put it bluntly. And now I'm just waiting, and I'm really nervous and all that fun stuff. Thumbs up.
Hello guys, this is Elizabeth's dad. There was some complications, so she's actually in the hospital. She will update you tomorrow of everything, so you guys have a good night.
So if you guys have been around since 2017, then you already know what I'm talking about, but for those of you that haven't, first of all, hello. Second of all, on October 13th, 2017, I went in to have my wisdom teeth removed, and although I didn't know it at the time, have most of my front teeth removed. These are not real, these are implants, and I'll get to that. But basically because of cystic fibrosis, they rotted out my teeth, and this is what I was stuck with. I lost all but 9 teeth that day. And I still have those. Actually, I have 8 now, because another one ended up getting pulled. Basically because CF kept taking my calcium, and I've always been low on vitamin D and all that kind of stuff. It just, my teeth were ruined from it, and thankfully the ones I have left are perfectly fine and should stay that way, but it was, anyway, so anyway, I went in to get my wisdom teeth out, which I only had 3 of, and it was supposed to be very simple. It was supposed to just take, you know, I was supposed to be there for a couple of hours, go home the same day, you know, the normal stuff. I feel like this is really dark. I wonder if I can fix the lighting. Hang on, this is bugging me because I feel like this is really dark. We'll work through the glare because at least now I feel like you can see me. I feel like that was really dark. So anyway, so that was what it was supposed to be, and I went in to have the surgery. I think it ended up getting delayed. I think it ended up happening around like 1 o'clock that afternoon. No, I was under for 7 hours, so I guess it was like 1 or 2 o'clock. I don't remember. I really don't. And then the next thing I knew was waking up, and I didn't realize at this point anything had happened. I just woke up from surgery like you do when you're like disoriented and you're like, what's going on? And I just remember asking my dad, I'm like, what time is it? And he's like, 10:30. And my response, okay, I had anesthesia on the brain. My response was, in the morning? No, it was 10:30 at night. But what had happened, and I'll give a brief overview, is basically they didn't realize at the time, because 3 of my teeth I still have left have caps on them, and they didn't realize at the time that I was highly allergic to nickel and cobalt, but the cobalt wasn't as much of a problem. I am highly, deathly allergic to nickel, apparently, and because of what happened, like, because it was going in my mouth and they just pulled the other teeth and it was like bloodstream and all that stuff, basically I went into anaphylaxis while I was under. I am so thankful to this day I don't remember it. I don't want to remember it. The days following were enough to remember. There's a lot of it I don't remember. I think I blocked out some of the memories, but I don't. But anyway, so I went into anaphylaxis under anesthesia, like in recovery. Like I wasn't still in surgery per se, but it was like in recovery. They just finished like 15 minutes afterwards. And from what I've been told, because I don't remember this, is while I was in recovery, I stopped breathing. And basically like my throat was closing up and all this not very good stuff. And I do have one little snippet of memory from that. I don't remember struggling to breathe, I don't remember stopping to breathe or any of that. I just remember like, I don't even remember seeing anything. I just remember hearing, you're having a bit of a reaction, we're gonna put you back under, and then like lights out, and then I remember waking up later. Like, that's all I remember. I don't remember feeling panicked or anything, but I do remember that little snippet. And then I woke up and at first, I didn't realize what had happened. I don't think I really learned until the next day. And this is funny to me. I put up my vlog that night, like those clips you saw, I put up my vlog that night. I do not remember ever putting that vlog together or putting it up. And I don't know how I managed to do that, because I just remember I was upset because I found out that I had lost my front teeth, because they were going to try to fix them and they couldn't. So that's what I was upset about. But I remember, the only thing I really remember from that first night, so I ended up being under anesthesia for 7.5 hours that day, and it was not a fun time. And I just remember like going back to the room and me telling the nurses, like, I can't stand, I can't, I just remember saying I can't get into the bed myself, I can't walk. And that's because I was like hyped up on like anesthesia and pain meds and all this other stuff. So I just remember them helping me into the bed, and I remember asking my dad to finish the vlog for me, and then I don't remember anything until the next day. And it's still, so that was October 13th, 2017, and that's why today is such a weird day for me, because if things had gone differently during that surgery, if maybe I'd had the reaction when I got home, if I had not had it done in a hospital, because of my CF, it was higher risk going under, so I had it done at the Children's Hospital instead of like at a dental clinic like you normally would. If I had the reaction when I got home, if that had been in a dental clinic and not a hospital, I could have died that day. And every October 13th I think about that. And what's funny is I actually had the surgery on Friday the 13th, which is kind of funny in hindsight. It wasn't funny at the time, but if any little variable had gone different that day, I could have died. And I can't believe it's been 3 years now. It doesn't feel like it's been 3 years, because I remember this whole experience as if it was like yesterday. Like, I remember it so clearly after that first day. The first day is kind of fuzzy, but after that I remember it so clearly. And it was traumatic. Okay, if I'm honest, it was traumatic. But so in the following days, and it got a little bit better each day, but I remember the next day, that Saturday, I woke up, because I ended up being in the hospital for 18 days. And I remember that Saturday I woke up and I didn't vlog for a while, and I couldn't talk. That night previous, I was able to talk. It was kind of like muffled and stuff, but I was able to talk. The next day, I couldn't talk, I couldn't cough, I couldn't eat or drink or anything. I was getting all my nutrition through my G-tube and my IV. And I remember, I don't remember exactly at what point in the day, it was sometime in the afternoon, morning hours, because I couldn't cough, all the mucus was like building up in my throat, and I felt like I couldn't breathe, and I couldn't talk into the nurse call button. I couldn't talk. So I remember I hit it and they would just come in immediately, because I couldn't talk, I couldn't tell them what was going on. So I just hit it, and I had typed into my phone, I remember clear as day, I typed, I'm really struggling to breathe. And that was actually the day I felt scared, because the night before, when the surgery was happening, I don't remember it. And I'm so thankful I do not remember it, because I don't want, like I said, I don't want to remember it. But I remember then I was scared, and I was on FaceTime with one of my friends, and she told me later that she was super scared, but she was like not like holding it together for me, and I'm so thankful for that. Because after I typed that, the nurse left the room, and then I remember like 6 people coming in, and that really freaked me out, because I've always said it's never a good thing when all the people come into your room. Never a good thing. You don't want all the people coming into your room. It's not nice. And I remember the respiratory therapist coming in, and like basically they had to like suction out my trachea or my throat or something, and they did it like via my nose, and they were all like, I can get numbing spray, like I can do something because it's gonna hurt. And the thing that amazes me to this day, it did not hurt at all. I did not remember hurting at all. I remember coughing when they were doing it, but it did not hurt at all, because at that point, I think that was the first time in my life I ever thought, like, am I gonna die right here? Because I couldn't breathe, and there was like people all around me. I had one nurse holding my hand. I had my friend on FaceTime trying to calm me down, and I can't describe the feeling. when you're like that, it's literally the thought in my mind, like, am I going to die, is what was going through my head. And after they did that, it worked. And after that, it took me quite a bit to calm down. Like, I could breathe again, but it took me a long time to calm down. And I remember I couldn't talk, obviously, for a little while. So, like, when I was on FaceTime with her, and this is Brooke that I'm talking about, and I still hard for me to say that name sometimes because she passed away in 2018. But I remember I couldn't talk on FaceTime, so like I would talk, she would be talking, and I would like text a reply, and it was like the weirdest thing ever, but we made it work. And I remember the first day I could actually talk. We talked for like 2 hours straight, and afterwards my jaw hurt so much, but I was like, I can finally talk to you again, and it was amazing. But during that first initial week, I couldn't. So I'd be like texting her, and she'd be like talking, and it was the weirdest thing, but we made it work. And anyway, so after that, like, they put me, I remember I was like on epinephrine inhaled, and I hated it because it would make my heart race so much. And actually, hang on, I'm gonna go grab something real quick. I did not realize I was gonna have to go all the way to the living room. So I should speed this up a little bit because my camera is like half battery. I don't want it to die on me. But speaking of epinephrine, so ever since that day, I now carry this in my purse. It's an EpiPen, and I don't even know if this one is still in date. I probably should check that at some point. But anyway, so thankfully I've never had to use these. I hope to never have to use them. But ever since that day, I have had one, and it's kind of like, I don't really even think about it most of the time, honestly. It's just in there, but it's a little reminder of that day. But anyway, so they had me on like epinephrine inhaled, and like so much pain medicine, I remember. And it was just, I think the pain medicine kind of blurs the week for me, but I do remember bits and pieces. And I remember that night, that Saturday night, so the night following the surgery, I had started feeling that same, like, I can't breathe feeling, but they could tell that I was passing air just fine, and it wasn't ending up being an actual problem like that morning. It was actually the first time I've ever had a panic attack, and it was from everything, I guess. And I just remember, I'm so thankful the nurse sat on the bed and held my hand, and I was just like sobbing, and she just sat there with me for a good 20 minutes or so, and until I calmed down. And I'm so thankful for the nurses during that time period because they were so sweet. They even let, at one point during the week, they let my brother bring his dog up, Yachty, and he sat on the bed with me, and that helped. Because I remember I had to go get a PICC line because after that, because of the CF, I developed pneumonia because I couldn't really cough or do airway clearance. And so then I had to go get a PICC line because I ended up staying longer. And I remember I was like on oxygen, and I couldn't lay down flat because if I did, I couldn't breathe. And it was just a really, really scary week. And so I remember the day the dog came up there, and it was great. So I ended up, like I said, being in there for 18 days. And after the first week, things got a little better because I could drink. I remember the first night I could drink. It was like I had ice water sitting next to me because I've been working on sipping it. And I just like chugged the thing. It was the best water to this day I've ever tasted in my life. And so after that, things started getting better. Like, I could eat baby food, I could drink, I started eating blended up food and stuff like that. And the hospital stay ended. I got out after 18 days, but it has been a roller coaster of emotions since then, because there was countless dental appointments fixing everything, countless other surgeries. I had at least two other surgeries that had to get done after that. And even though, like, after the hospital stay, I would say the physical part of it got a little bit easier. I remember the first time I tried to eat macaroni and cheese, literally took me an hour and a half to eat one of those little like Kraft mac and cheeses that are tiny, because I just had to eat it like a noodle at a time. And I just had to relearn everything, eating and talking wise. And once I got that down, I think later on in that November is when the emotional side of it started to hit me, because ever since that day, ever since that first Saturday night, I still deal with panic attacks sometimes. They're way less frequent than they used to be, but that first year following it was pretty bad. I would literally get feelings like I couldn't breathe, and I think it just took me back to that day. And it was not not good. And occasionally, very, very occasionally, very rare now, but they do still happen sometimes. And there was just a lot of emotional stuff I think I worked through, because when you come back from sitting in a hospital bed wondering if you're about to die, I think it messes with you a little bit, but not always in a bad way. Because what I was thinking about this morning when I woke up is every October 13th is another reminder that I did survive and I did make it past it. And there's people that go through a lot worse things than that. There's people that go through probably a lot more scary, I don't even want to call it a near-death experience, but like a moment in your life where you wonder if you're going to survive it. And I could never get into everything that went on in the next couple of years, but I think about that every October 13th that I can't believe it's been 3 years, because like I said, I remember it so much. And there was so much that went on during that hospital stay that I probably, I can't cover in one video, especially because my camera's probably gonna die. But just like fighting the pneumonia and stuff and relearning to eat and talk and everything was one of the hardest things I went through, and the following dental stuff. And then finally in January of this year, I finally finished. So this started October 13th, 2017. In January something, it was toward the end of January 2020, I finished. And I feel like it's almost like finally things have come full circle. Even though they finished in January, sitting here on this October 13th with, a smile and functioning teeth that I'm used to, because I talked with a lisp for a while when I first got these. I had to relearn how to eat all over again. And it's like I can finally let go of all that because things have come full circle, and just look ahead and be thankful, because I know a piece of me knows that on that afternoon that could have been the end of my story, and it wasn't. And I'm so thankful, and I will forever be thankful, because I like life and I like to live, and I'm just really thankful, all the prayers and just that God pulled me through that portion of my life. And there's been a lot of hard times since then. I mean, just like physically and emotionally, there's been a lot of things, especially 2020, that has not been the best. But when I wake up this morning, it puts things into perspective that even if it's hard times, it means I'm still above the ground, and that's a great thing. So it's weird. It's just weird that it's been 3 years since that day, and I will never forget it as long as I live. It is one of those like defining moments in my life, I think. But I'm very, very thankful to be here talking to this camera today and being able to meet my nephew today. And I was so scared I was gonna break him, but I didn't. And I'm gonna go see him later this week, and just being able to talk with my friends, and even in quarantine, just to be able to be healthy on this day, and to have a beautiful smile again, and to be myself, and to look to the past and be like, I'm thankful. Just waking up with a grateful heart this morning. So just a little bit what I wanted to talk about. I'm not sure if my thoughts were even organized in this video, because I mean I didn't really I was thinking about it, but I didn't write notes or anything. I didn't plan this. I just wanted to talk about it because today I wake up and I think, yeah, that happened, but I'm still here, and that's a beautiful thing. So hope you guys are having a good day. I hope you guys are doing well. I know this has been such a weird year, and there's so much going on with a lot of people, so I hope you guys are doing well out there. And I am just thinking, reflecting today, and I'm very, very thankful. So I will see you guys tomorrow for a regular vlog. We'll see what we get up to tomorrow. I want to start running again. We'll see about that. But I'll see you guys tomorrow, and just hope you guys are doing good. So good night, guys.